This clip is sponsored by Wash and Go, and that can only mean one thing. That's right, I'm surrounded by a sea of green. By now you should know that Wash and Go is the best way to look after your luscious locks. I mean, look at what it's done for mine. Fantastic. But you don't have to take my word for it. Just look at some of the 600 plus unreal reviews on their Amazon page. Linda from the United Kingdom says, well, it smells lush and leaves hair smelling fresh. Fantastic, Linda. Kindle customer JSB says, product arrived as advertised. Always very important. Always important to know that, Kindle customer JSB. And finally, my personal favourite, it's shampoo and it works for me. Absolutely fantastic there from Casey. It is indeed shampoo and also a conditioner. If you want to get your Wash and Go today, then hit the link in the description and get your bottle sent to you today. And remember, it's a shampoo and it works for me. Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. This is our reaction to Erik Ten Hag's first interview as a Manchester United manager. And the headline I would say that I would pick out, because there's loads to talk about. The most interesting thing for me was actually his, I think when you sit and watch somebody, you start to understand their personality. And I think there's some big hints about Erik Ten Hag that some people may not have picked up on in the relation to his personality. He's quite stern. I notice a lack of sense of humour, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But the big line that came out is that we're playing at the theatre of dreams. We have to entertain. And echoes of Sir Matt Busby and echoes of Sir Alex Ferguson there in relation to his obsession. His obsession. And then there's a line in here that we'll go through in a minute. We're going to go through the press conference and everything he said. But he's an obsessive character. You can definitely pick that up. I've got to say, it's the first time I've watched interviews with Ten Hag. But I think when he's sat there as Manchester United manager, talking about Manchester United as Manchester United manager for the first time, which is what we've just seen there, you really start to resonate and understand the character. We all knew Van Gaal, we all knew Mourinho, but when they became Manchester United manager and it became your club manager, you really start to analyse them more. And I think that my impressions of Erik Ten Hag is that I think some people will say his English isn't great. I just think that's somebody who's not used to using English every day. His vocabulary is very good. He used words that people who are not fluent in English would not use because they wouldn't understand them. So I just think he needs to get used to that. I never understood why people thought his English would be bad. But look, I think he comes across as somebody, and I said lack of sense of humour there, and some people may take that the wrong way, but what I mean is I think he's perfect for what Manchester United need. I think he's going to be a disciplinarian who is obsessed, and everybody has to work to his standards, and if you fall short, you're in trouble. And his standards are obsessive. So if I was a United player who thinks you can have a little bit of a joke and a play around at training, you're not going to get that. I don't think he's the sort of manager that's going to have favourites. I don't think he's the sort of manager that's going to be, I'll have a laugh with you, I'll have a day off. I think he's relentless in his pursuit of excellence. And I think Manchester United have now got this manager. I'm not saying he's like Conte or Pep or anything like that. But look, we'll have a laugh and we'll have a beer when we've won something, but we're not here to have a laugh every day. We're here to work, and you better bloody impress me. And this is what I've wanted. And I don't know whether anybody saw it yesterday before we go through the clips. Let me just... sad to think I was more interested in City winning the league, says Oliver. Quick question mark. I really wanted to sit my clip. You can do it on Wednesday, Daniel. That's absolutely fine. I think that... I don't know whether anyone saw the clip yesterday when Ten Hag was coming out of the Selhurst Park, and the Sky reporter was trying to get a word with him, and the security guard pushed him away, and the Sky reporter was, well, it's almost, do you know who I am? I think as a Man United manager, you should be talking to your viewers, to your fans. And it was like, well, actually, why should he talk to you? Why? He's not the Man United manager yet. They've just lost the game. Why should he be talking to you? I like that. I don't want the cosy relationship with Monday Night Football. I don't want him on Monday Night Football with Carragher and Gary Neville. I don't want him on a WhatsApp group with ex-players. I don't want that. I want what Klopp's got. I want what Pep's got. I want what Conte's got. I want that distance and respect. He's here to work and do a job. I think United fans are tired of the friendship relationships with the media. I think it's time to go to work. United are at the bottom of the barrel. That previous chat was absolutely spot on. We were basically supporting Man City yesterday and Brighton because our own team is so bad. We need other people to do it for us. This needs to stop. So let's go through Erik Ten Hag's interview. Good is not good enough. What a comment. Yes, Nick. There was a few absolute bangers in there, which we'll go through. Watching Barcelona in Sydney on Wednesday, will be taking a sign for De Jong to join United. Doing my bit, says BOM. Thank you very much. And welcome to Members Club, Austin T. So look, I just want to say as well, there is a press conference with Erik Ten Hag at midday. So we'll be live again at about 12:30 because he's going to take questions from the press. So the way we're running United Stand today is it's very much a positive morning and afternoon. It's Erik Ten Hag day. I'm not getting involved in any negatives. I will bring you a bit of transfer news in a minute. There is a massive amount of stuff that's come out this morning in relation to more leaks and stuff like that. Really good stuff. I'm ready to talk about it, but we will probably do that on the 8 o'clock show tonight because there's so much to get into, and I don't want to poison what Erik Ten Hag is saying with what these prats from the last year have done. I mean, basically, some of the rumours is just bullying going on in a United dressing room, and it's disgraceful. But we'll talk about that at 8 o'clock because I want to focus on Ten Hag. I said this last night, once the season's over, we've got Europa League football. It's been a horrible season. We now look forward. I hope Ten Hag is a total psycho in the locker room, says Jon. You know what, though? I don't think he's a psycho, but I think if you watch that interview back and if you watch him in his press conference, I'm looking forward to seeing how he deals with the press. He's not there for jokes and laughs. He's there to work. And I don't necessarily think he's the sort of guy... I mean, Mourinho, I'd love to go for a meal with. I'm not sure I'd like to go for a meal with Erik Ten Hag. He seems very intense. Very intense. And, you know, I've had managers, I'm sure you've had managers, and I'm talking about in your work life, teachers, whatever. Some of the better teachers and some of the better people you learn from are people like Ten Hag who... You know, it doesn't feel like there's a personality there. They're just obsessed in getting the best out of you. Whereas other people, they get the best out of you in a different way and they can be almost your mates. And I think with Ten Hag, we're getting this obsessive. He said, I'm excited and look forward to restoring Manchester United to where we need to be. The first thing we need to do is look at where we are right now. We're not in a good place. It's a very big challenge. We need to build a unified, constructive team that's pulling in the right direction. We must entertain. Fantastic football but we must win, and that's the principles he's coming out. Didn't like Whitwell's feature on Ralph, says Daniel Kirk. We'll talk about that later on, Daniel. I don't want to go on about Ranić or anything else. We're talking about Ten Hag at the moment, but we will be going on that, Daniel, on the 8 o'clock show because there's so much to talk about. Backbiting, spitefulness, all sorts of stuff. Subad, thank you very much. Welcome to Members Club. Do remind me to talk about the transfer news because we've got a couple of bits that I think you'd be quite interested in. Yeah, fantastic football is really important, but we must win. He was asked about why he's not had a break and come straight into this, and he said, look, you have to prepare. When you're managing a football club like I was managing Ajax, I was planning for next season, this season. I can't do that because I'm not the Man United manager this season, so I have to prepare. I'm already playing catch up, and effectively, we've got to, I've got to meet people, we've got to plan the strategy, we've got to prepare, and that's why I'm here now. So effectively, look, I think what you're gonna get, I'm making a prediction here, but I think with Ten Hag, we're gonna get Ranić in a different way. Maybe not, Solskjaer was just happy, smiley. Mourinho was about his own personality. Ranić was just very analytically honest. And I think with Ten Hag, you're going to get blunt honest. I think, I don't think he's got... It's very early days with Ten Hag, but I don't think he's got the filter to not... He just seems very abrupt in a good way, in the sense that why, you've had no break. Why? Well, because if I was the manager now, I'd be able to plan for next season in February, but I can't do that. So I've got to come in early now and prepare and do the strategy. So for him, it's very logical. And I think that logicalness is very important to fans because we get explanations. And I think one of the bad things of United under the Solskjaer era was a lack of communication. We were treated like mushrooms and kept in the dark, fed on shit. And I think that, again, in Ten Hag, it looks very positive. I'm a tad worried about Ten Hag referencing our second place finish. We're going to talk about that, Julian. That squad that finished second had no credibility. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Suraj, welcome to Members Club, and welcome Reese as well. Thank you very much for joining. So he was asked about what his long-term vision at the football club is, and he said, look, we've got to accept the now, but 1 year ago, as someone just said there, 1 year ago we were second. Potential is there with this team. It's a process and it will take time, but we've got to work hard on the right philosophy. Now, there's a few things in there that might alarm people. Process, harks back to Van Gaal. Second place harks back to Solskjaer. I think the worst thing any Manchester United manager can do is look back, because the fans know the last 9 years more than Ten Hag. The interesting thing about Ten Hag is he's never been to Old Trafford. So I don't know what our fans are going to, you know, these top red fans, what they're going to call him, a plastic. You know, if you've not been to Old Trafford, you're a plastic fan. I mean, Ten Hag's our manager. He's never been to Old Trafford. I'm joking, of course, but what I'm saying is that, you know, he probably doesn't understand the last 9 years like you do or I do, because he hasn't lived it as a United fan. He doesn't. He's not a United fan. He's not been to Old Trafford, so he probably hasn't watched Manchester United in depth over the last 9 years. So I think it's interesting that he references a process. That's fine. I think that's just a word. It's probably the same reason Van Gaal used the word process, because it's not that English is not their language, so process can mean a lot of things to them. It's a rebuild basically, which it is. But the reference to the second place last year, that's probably, look, he's mentioned that a couple of times. I wouldn't read too much into that. I think he references second last year because it's like he's looked at the league table and gone, well, they were second a year ago. We can get back there. Unfortunately for Ten Hag, it's going to be a reality bite. Somebody needs to take him aside and say, you know, they finished second last year. Yeah, that's good. No, it's not. There's no fans in the ground. This team bottles it when there's fans in the ground, as we've seen this year. Chelsea had sacked their manager at Christmas, so they only played well for half a season. Liverpool had an injury crisis. We weren't second best, really. We parked the bus and counter-attacked in stadiums with no fans in it. It was a false. That second place was false. So if you think that we finished second a year ago, you can use that to get a second next year. Just forget about it. Just start from here, because we really are shit. And that's what he needs to do. And he'll understand that anyway. Second last year, it's not like he's going to go, oh, let's pick that team. He's got... Even if he likes that team that finished second a year ago, their style of football could not be further from what he wants to play. We'll get into it in a minute. He wants to play attacking, entertaining, controlling, pressing football. We came second last year, but by parking the bus and counter-attacking. So there's no correlation, really. I hope the first thing Ten Hag does is sit the whole team down and humble them. All players need to come to grips with the fact that they haven't been good enough, says the filthy underdog. Expectations need to be low next season. Priorities to start playing consistently good football before we even think about challenging for anything, says Reese. I'm watching morning video. Hi, I'm Mark Goldbridge. That's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video, because we all know only legends like videos, and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video, and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching, as always.